President Obama's Theology. The Theology of President Obama's Christian Theocracy. Part 6. Black Liberation's Theological Basis. We're continuing to examine the theology of President Obama. We're doing this in order that we can better understand his political, social, and cultural policies as he has brought them into existence in American society. He's seeking to make changes, he told us in 2008. What he's changing us from is what he sees as white social injustice, the oppression of blacks and of minorities in America. These he considers the marginalized people. This has come about by free market economy. And as a result, the only way to level the playing field is by changing America's history, redefining its values, as if its values were the values of all common people in the world and their religion. But we know that's not the case at all. America's history is profoundly Protestant, reformational Christianity. But I believe it should become clearer and clearer to you as I explain this theology of liberation, that the president is carrying out a theocratic world and life view, and that he's going to implement it no matter what opposition he comes against in America. We're in the process of change, and if it continues, we will be changed, and America will not be the country we knew as we grew up in it. But the president could never say that, because outside visiting this country, he did not come here until 19 years of age. He only knows about our country, its history. He doesn't know it from experience, and he only knows it as it has been perceived from the schools that taught him, who were outside of our country. That's fundamental to his understanding of what's wrong with America. Well, let's continue with our examination of black liberation theology. Black liberation theology is theology from the perspective of an oppressed people. It seeks to interpret the gospel of Jesus Christ against the backdrop of historical and contemporary racism. Racism as being used to express oppression in any manifestation, but in particular racism against black people. The message of black theology is this: that the Afro-American struggle for liberation is consistent with the gospel. That every theological statement must be consistent with and perpetuate the goals of liberation to be a true theology. This theology maintains that African Americans must be liberated from multiple forms of bondage: social, political, economic, and religious European-styled Protestant Reformation. And that's the worst form of bondage: Protestant Reformational Christianity. This liberation involves empowerment, and it seeks the right of self-definition, self-affirmation, and self-determination. Liberation theology, as it has expressed itself in the African American community, has done so by seeking to find a way to make the gospel relevant to black people who currently struggle each day under the burden of white oppression, politically, socially, economically, culturally, or even religiously. The question that confronts black liberation theologians is not one that is easily answered. The question that confronts them is this: what, if anything, does the Christian gospel have to say to powerless black men? To use James Cone's words, whose existence is, quote, threatened on a daily basis by the insidious tentacles of white power, unquote. For the black liberation theologian, if the gospel has nothing to say to people as they confront the daily realities of life, it is a lifeless message because it does not end in change. Change. A word we've become very familiar with in America. Further, if Christianity is not real for blacks, that is, it results in their being liberated, then they simply will reject that form of Christianity, or any form of Christianity that does not bring them not just equal opportunity, but equal results, because it has no current or present benefits to their circumstances. There are many reasons why Christianity has not been real for black people. To begin with, white Christianity emphasizes individualism, and it divides the world into two separate realms: the realm of the sacred and the secular, the realm of public and private. Such a view of the world is alien to African American spirituality. Further, the form of Christianity that was communicated to black people has as its primary focus life in the world to come. This was at odds with traditional African spirituality, which was focused on life in the present world. And if that were not enough, Christianity is hopelessly associated with slavery and segregation in the minds of many African Americans, even after all these years since it has been ended. In the face of all of this, the question that confronts the advocates of black theology of liberation is somewhat intimidating. Can one still be black and believe in the biblical tradition as expressed in the Old and New Testaments? Can the Christian faith be stripped of its interpretations given these sacred texts by whites and be made real for black men and women? This is the daunting task for black liberation theology. And this task is what they are seeking to achieve. And this is the motivating theology behind the President of the United States today.